Let's bring in MSNBC contributor Mike Barnicle and Democratic strategist and co-host of the Politics War Room podcast, James Carville. Good to have you both on board this morning. James, it's a different dynamic with Kamala Harris now running for the presidency. A lot of Dems are really happy. You can see the excitement. It seems like it's been infused into the campaign as well as among Democrats at her rallies. But can she convince, with the different challenges at play that we've heard about now in Elise's focus groups, can she convince swing voters while also fending off Trump lies and attacks from the right?
Well, that's kind of a tall order, but the short answer is I think she can. But I'd say this. This has been a real change in mood in the party and around the country. But we got to be a little careful. There's about 10% too much triumphalism going on. And, you know, it's going to be a very difficult race. It's going to be very close. And I understand that people are feeling a lot better and excited, but that excitement's got to be tempered with realism. And the realism is she has a tough campaign to run. And as you say, she's got several things she's got to accomplish at the same time. But having said that, there's been real growth in Vice President Harris. I mean, you can just see the difference. And she just looked so confident to me yesterday. That was I didn't put the sound on. I just left the video. And I liked what I saw, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, but tell me about that realism. Tell me about the realism of the months to come. I mean, there's a short amount of time and a lot is going to happen.
You're right. And they're having to put a campaign together right away. I mean, you know, they were obviously thinking about this ahead of time, but they got to accomplish between now and the convention. They got to accomplish what most campaigns have 8 months to do. So I'm saying they can't do it, but people are excited about the party's feeling better about itself. You know, we have a woman. I want to take it a non-white woman, and people are genuinely and understandably excited about that. But we also, I guess, a locked-in and entrenched opponent who's got a large part of the country behind him who are going to pull out, and they don't care if it's true or unfair or anything else. And you got to be ready for that at every point. And all I'm saying to Democrats is enjoy yourself, feel good, but you know, it's tough sledding ahead, and let's get together and get this thing done.
So, James, let's talk a little bit, though, about how the race has changed. And to your point, it's still going to be very, very close. What issues do you think Vice President Harris can now more effectively prosecute and communicate than President Biden? And do you think this changes the map at all? Because for President Biden, it seemed like it was really narrowing, and his only path would have been through that Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan trio.
Right. Well, what it really brings is the idea of change. Okay, people wanted something different. 73% told us they wanted something different. As soon as they got something different, you had this real outpouring. I'm not surprised at that at all. And her biggest asset is just compare her to Trump, compare the youth, compare the energy. And I think that's going to work well for her going forward. I don't think people are behind her because of this policy proposal. I think they're behind her because they wanted something different, and she represents that. And I think that's what's driving this enthusiasm and this era of good feeling we have right now. And of course, the Trump people are going to paint her as more the same, some horrific urban coastal liberal. That's good. They've already started. They're going to take your plastic straws away. That was the Jason Miller, Sean Hannity initial attack. Protect those damn straws. They're coming with better than that.
Ridiculous.
Hey, James, you mentioned a somewhat important issue a couple of minutes ago, watching the video with the sound off yesterday. And your eye, your political eye, your campaign manager's eye, saw something that a few other people saw, too. You saw a quiet confidence in the vice president that seemed not to be there 3 or 4 years ago. And it is there now for certain. Watching that video with the sound down will show you that. So where do you take this quietly confident vice president now? Where do you take her? What do you campaign on in those spots where you take her? Are there any surprise places you'd take her?
Well, first of all, her record in 2020, when she ran, she wouldn't talk about who she really was, which was she was an effective prosecutor, an effective attorney general, consumer advocate, and a senator. So she couldn't be herself because idiots in the Democratic Party decided you couldn't talk about being an effective prosecutor. That is no longer the case. But her big asset is she was a consumer advocate. She can go after these companies for price fixing and price gouging. And that's what I hope she goes around the country and does events like that, to say, I'm on the side of the consumer. I know these companies are talking to each other. I know they're fixing prices to take advantage of you, the consumer, and I'm going to fight for you. I would love to see that. I'd love to see her be the people's lawyer as president.
Hey, James, I'm thinking about defense here, too, for her, what she's going to get attacked on and how you'd handle that, some of those attacks. If you put aside the questions of, just put the racist and sexist attacks aside and just go straight to the ones where she has one obvious vulnerability, which is about the border. She's seen as Biden's border czar. That's not been an issue. Immigration that's been helpful to Democrats in this cycle so far. So what do you do about that? And then number two, something that they're going after right now that there is some sign that it actually cuts, at least for now, with voters, which is she was in on some cover up over Joe Biden's health. And that they're going to make that argument. I'm not crediting it. I'm just saying it's out there already, and there's some sign that some swing voters are open to it. So talk about those two areas she needs to defend.
The first one, the second one, she's going to have to defend and discuss, and there are plenty good answers, and I'm sure she has them. In terms of the border, you could point the truth out. It's not going to do you any good. She was never border czar. She was put in charge of trying to coordinate diplomatic activities from countries that a lot of these migrants were coming from. But she's got a couple arrows in her quiver. First of all, that they walked away from a deal that was negotiated by conservative Republicans that had the endorsement of all of the border agencies. And they walked away from it because they didn't want a solution. The second thing that she can point to rather legitimately is border crossings are down. Are we going to win that issue? No, we're not going to win it, but we can do a lot better. And the issue, I think, to some extent, will run out of steam with them if she gives some effective, cogent answers. And that's going to be important. And you're right to say that, John. Her defensive is like the NBA. Your defensive game is just as important as the offensive game.
Well, and the defense on that is really simple. They had a deal. Team Biden-Harris gave the Republicans the best deal they could have gotten. They had it. They were in concert with James Lankford, a conservative Republican senator who helped write it. And they killed it for Donald Trump. So she can put that right back on them. That is on them. They could have had everything they wanted and more. And they decided against it for gross politics, for Donald Trump. They bowed to somebody who wasn't even in office. So she's got a lot to speak for on different issues. I think a lot of it is personal attacks. A lot of it is weird memes that they're making up. It seems to me the Republicans are looking for their opening with Kamala Harris, but they're going to run into situations where they look racist, misogynistic, and they're going to have to be really careful, which is something I think they're not good at doing. Democratic strategist James Carville, it's nice to hear you laugh early in the morning. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah, trust me, they're going to do sexist and racist things. I promise you, you're not going to be excited at all.
Here we go.